When you think divorce, you might think of squabbling young couples who only make it a year or two.
But gray divorce, it's a real thing. The rate of divorce for married couples over the age of 50 was twice as high in 2014 as it was in 1990. Twice as high. That's according to the National Center for Marriage and Family.
So in today's Relationship Reboot, we're talking about how to stay happily married after retirement. Joining us now is our relationship guru, Kirsten Lind Seal. Great to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me.
I was surprised to find out that women initiate a huge number of these divorces.
Yes, that is a really interesting finding. Women initiate the majority of divorces. I mean, one of the thoughts behind that is, 30, 40 years ago, now with the advent of more women in the workforce, in fact, maybe the majority, they don't have to just stay with their husband for financial reasons. So this is one of the things that researchers are thinking that might be going on with those marriages.
Let's talk about gray divorce and why it happens, because at that point, in most cases, you've probably been together for quite some time at that point. So it seems surprising that it would happen then.
Right. So it's interesting because when you think about people who have been together a really long time, you think of all these transitions that they go through. And I think one of the things that happens is that the transition from work life and kids to retirement is a really big life change. And people look forward to it. And there is sort of a honeymoon effect, like right after, there's sort of better sex and they go out and do things. But then, but that wears off. And then you're with someone 24/7, which I don't know is a really good idea for anybody, quite frankly.
Sure.
Right? So that's one of the things that's going on. So I think the first thing that people have to do is really prepare for this life transition, to just kind of be aware, wow, this is going to be different for us. What are we going to do? How are we going to manage this?
Is there a way that you can still be spending time together, but also not fall into that trap of 100% of
yes,
time
exactly.
together?
Well, I mean, and this is true of marriage in general. We don't want to put all of our expectations for sort of socializing and love and affection and everything into our marriage relationship, because that puts the burden just on one person and just on one relationship. And that's hard, right? So you want to make sure that you have other relationships. You want to make sure you spend some time apart and some time together.
I imagine some of that must be meeting new friends, because if you've been a working full-time, employee for 40, 50 years, you probably don't have as many friends as you might have if you weren't working.
Well, exactly. I mean, and one of the things that happens is that our work life is our friend life. So that when that stops, do we make efforts to keep up with the people that we were working with, or does that just sort of fall away? I mean, that's one of the things that happens too.
I often wonder if this is a little bit of preparation that needs to be going on before you retire, before the kids move out of the house. That people, especially when the kids are gone, I've seen a lot of couples who just don't seem to know how to relate to each other anymore.
Exactly. So the interests can really diverge, and when there's all this busy stuff going on about our daily lives and kids and work and all that, that can kind of go under the radar. And then when that goes away, all of a sudden we wake up and look at each other like, who are you? And why am I married to you, kind of thing.
What do we want?
What do we want? What are we interested in, I mean, I see, like, sometimes, like couples often, one member will be really, like, want to go out, like, skydiving and bungee jumping and all this other really exciting stuff, and the other is really content to just be at home and just sort of chill. And so, and it's not that one way is better than the other. The problem comes when there's conflict because they're disagreeing about what they should or shouldn't be doing.
One of your tips is manage expectations. And I think that's something that is so much easier said than done, because you want to be positive and you want to look forward to the next stage in your life.
Right, exactly. And this is where, again, we come back to this communication is key type of thing, right? And you need to be kind about it, but you need to have a conversation about it. You can't just assume, which again, this happens in couples so much, this sort of mind reading, well, if he really loved me, he would know that what I wanted to do today was go on a long bike ride and then, go swim at the lake. And that's not necessarily true.
Some good tips for people to try to keep it together.
Try to keep it together. Yeah, it's possible. It just takes work and some thought.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
Thanks, Kirsten.
You're welcome.
Minnesota Vikings.